And welcome back, Saints Nation. That was a heck of a way to start off the season. Game one there in this matchup between St. Clair College and the Nova Nighthawks went absolute brutal fashion in the favor of St. Clair. I'm going to say it as it is. Like, that was insane. This is supposed to be a meta game where we see 45-minute games, and that was 20 minutes and like 15 seconds. So, Saints speedrunning anybody, but we'll have to see how game number two goes. Of course, my name Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner, joined alongside Jackson Deprived Brown, and again here for game number two. Where do we even begin?
I mean, there's lots to talk about here, right? I mean, there's lots to think and dissect about here for the Nova Nighthawks to what they can do for their comp to kind of turn things around here for themselves a little bit and not allow Saints comp to actually kind of have. But it's tough, right? Because you look at what you banned if you are from the Nova Nighthawks right now, and you know, okay, yes, let's say we don't ban this and we ban this because it worked good for the Saints last time. But then the Saints also have just more options that they can go to. Like that character that you're unbanning now, Saints can just go and pick up or whatnot. And that's the one thing is really I'm finding that might put the Saints head here once again is just having a more versatile legend select that they can work with, and I think that's really going to benefit them here once again in this next draft.
Yeah, going into this champ select, if anything, the way that game went is actually really dangerous for Nova because they're probably going to look at it and say, okay, bot lane was the problem.
Yep.
Then you adjust your bans accordingly. Maybe you ban the Caitlyn, maybe you ban Jinx or something like that, and maybe just like your go-to AD carries right now. In the meantime, you freed Ricky.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to say. I almost have this like deep down feeling in me right now that we're about to see Jax. Or we're just gonna see something that allows Ricky, one of those specials that allows Ricky to do what he does. And I think they're gonna be like, okay, we're worrying about the bot lane. They're going to be not so worried about top lane. Top lane was pretty even for them a lot of the times. Top lane, Ricky had a couple, like, even fights up there and whatnot. But now, if we can see Ricky get on one of those more comfortable legends there for him, I mean, this could be very, very scary for the side of the Nova Nighthawks. And just as you were saying, right, I mean, with the dominant win that strong from St. Clair, it might hurt Nova Nighthawks even more.
Yeah, and we'll have to see here. As of right now, relatively standard given the patch. We've been seeing a lot of Corki and Pro play just due to the amount of safe farming and just burst damage that you can do. So fair enough in that regard. Couple of, I feel like, comfort bans more than anything here for St. Clair. The Diana, Engage, and Assassination potential alongside the Akshan. Going to be getting rid of that. And they're actually going to get rid of Sejuani, which was Miko's pick from last game.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's going to be something to definitely look at here. I mean, St. Clair also factoring in, Nova Nighthawks might not have been able to come through with a win there, but Caitlyn going to go on the other side of the table this time. Well, Ricky, what are you looking at picking here right now? But
you just picked Jinx right here, I think, right now, if you're St. Clair.
I think you got to.
Just very good. Yeah, sure enough, going to be the case here because it wasn't necessarily the characters that defined that game. It wasn't the champions that defined that game. It was the teamwork and the coordination. I feel like Barlow can do exactly what he did on the Caitlyn with Jinx because it was all just team play setup, and we'll have to see moving forward. Going to be locked in. All right, Nova, what you got?
I mean, I talked about that almost kind of right from the beginning, is that, it is going to be St. Clair's chemistry that will help them in the end of the day. And as you're saying right now, it might not have been the comp select. It might not have been those actual characters coming through and being a problem. The chemistry with how you use them could be the problem there.
Exactly.
So St. Clair looking to use the Jinx a little bit better here in this one. Now we will see Fresh coming through with a pick as well. And looks like we will get the lock-in there actually on Vex. So a little bit of a last-minute switcheroo there coming through. Now Maiko going to come in through and try to get the pick for himself.
I mean, I was going to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it here, but this is probably going to go to Zephrot here, Vex being more of an assassination mage, a little bit different out of what we've been seeing from Zephrot, because the traditional Zephrot game is that we don't talk about him until the late game because he's just so consistently farming and setting everybody else up that he doesn't usually shine as the superstar himself, but that in itself is so good in terms of team play, so big props still there. We'll have to see if maybe he could pop off on this Vex, as we do see Echo and Bard come out here.
Yeah, Zephyrot's one of those players that you always want on your team. He's one of those guys that, will always be reliable, consistent, farming, helping out his teammates, and providing solid comms. Zephyrot, overall, great player. So it's nice to see him come through here on the side of the Saints today. And, it is going to be him going through the pick. Oh, and in the Rengar. Oh, no. This is looking scary for the Nova Nighthawks. I'm liking St. Clair's comp so far.
Oh, this isn't meta in the slightest, but what this is a fresh comfort pick. And this has been his go-to for ranked for as long as we've been told, as long as I can remember. So getting the opportunity to play Rengar here is going to be interesting. But they've already kind of locked in, they've locked in their bot lane carry. But there is something funny that you can do with Rengar right now. If you have a Senna on your team, the Rengar can hop into stealth, and whenever he's stealthed, he can jump out and close the gap. If this is something that the Saints are setting up, I would absolutely lose it, but it might not be the case, as we see a couple more bans, and it looks like Ricky bans.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I was maybe seeing, like, we might not see Ricky bans come through as much with how, like, the pick and poke fight was in map number 1, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I agree with Nova's call there to get those Ricky bans out through, so it is now going to slow things down a little bit from his side in the top lane, but Barlow coming through, and now Rengar, I'm still thinking about that one. I mean, in my opinion, comfort picks, yeah, it might not fit the comp as well always, but yeah, that comfort pick is going to be so lethal for Zephyros.
And then I was completely wrong here in regards to thinking that Zephyros was going to be playing the Vex. That might be a Vex support, actually.
Or Rengar
as the Victor going to be picked up here for Zephyros instead. This is something we have seen from him in the past season. Victor is just a solid, safe, go-to battle mage and going to be playing again. Kassadin going to be the answer here from Diggy, unless that's a top lane one. We'll have to see when they start switching champions around, but being able to have that innate spell shield is going to be nice there for Diggy, possibly.
Yeah, last semester I didn't see a whole lot of casted in there, so it's nice to see here on Osu, actually, one of those players that we were told to look out for here for the Saturday Nova Nighthawks, so Osu definitely going to be one to watch out for, but yeah, it's going to be Aurelia and Renekton here coming through for the final ones. Now everybody just choosing their loadout, but I mean, what do you think about this comp here so far, Dan?
Okay, so this is a flex if I've ever seen it coming out here from St. Clair. Like, it started off like pretty standard, like, okay, first pick Jinx, this is fine.
Vex.
You have the Victor as well, which is pretty standard. But when I started seeing the Rengar, it's like, okay, wait a minute, this is a flex. I'm seeing the Vex, like, okay, either I've completely missed something or this is a flex. And then, to be fair, Renekton's relatively solid still in this current meta here. So Ricky on that, going to fit right into his current champion pool. But what is driving me crazy? Hemorrhage. Unless you are a Irelia one-trick, you're going up against this again? Or you're going up against with the same game plan? What's happening here?
Yeah, that's a really big question here right now, right? I mean, the one trick is one thing I was just talking about. Why St. Clair might have a better chance here is because the versatility they have, the depth in their selects, so it does really benefit them there in that regard. But overall, St. Clair, that worked out there for them. I'm very excited to see this one. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a flex there from the Saints, but I think it's also a very comfort pick, and I think they're gonna have a very good time. Like even then, the comms should be good. Like I mean, the vibes are good. If I'm seeing picks like that come through. So I think everybody is just trying to clean this one up, but there is that little thought in the back of my mind that says, hey, you guys aren't going for like the team comp kind of play a little bit, you're more going for your comfort picks. Is this going to be a problem? Who knows? The team comp is overall still fairly there, but maybe, you could have went with something other than the Rengar to not go for a comfort pick, but everything should work out, and I'm excited to see how this one plays through.
Yeah, like the first composition, like it had a strategy to it, right? It was the Orianna Ball delivery system into the Shockwave, but to be fair, they never had to use the combo because, I mean, there's just too much damage elsewhere, right? They didn't even need the setup. Like, Barlow was deleting people before they even had the chance to set up the combo. But this composition for St. Clair, a part of me wants to see it get shut down because this looks like a solo queue team.
That's the big thing that was in the back of my mind too, right? I mean, I don't know if I'd say part of me wants to get shut down. Like, yeah, it'd be a good learning experience here for them. Week number 1 to come through, but I think if it does work out too, it could be scary that the St. Clair might be, more reluctant to do this again in the season where they want to go for these comfort picks and, kind of pull out these plays. So let's hope they just stay in check, have that strategy going into it. I think that's the biggest thing when you're picking a comp. You got to think about, what are we doing with this comp in the game and how will, our 8 characters feed off of each other?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's still, like, massive pick comp potential here. Like, singling somebody out, getting a lane so far ahead that it turns into another game like game number 1. But to have that be your game plan is always extremely scary. And to be fair, like I was knocking Hemorrhage a little bit there for another Irelia pick. If he just plays it safely, like him and the rest of the squad, as long as they're, like, depending on how the game goes, if they get down, if they can play passively properly and defensively properly, they can easily come back and like smoke this one in the late game. But
My worry
we'll have
is
to see.
that the Nova Nighthawks for them, and they might get a little bit too like antsy, right? Like, oh, we're down by too many. Like, they might get an early deficit or something like that, and it really forces them to be like, okay, let me make these overzealous plays to try to
Yeah,
make
that's
those
what
Hail Mary
happened.
plays. And if they try to make those Hail Mary plays again, it's not going to work. I already can say that right now. It's not going to work. If you got to play slow, you got to make this that 45-minute game it's supposed to be if you want to win it out here in the long game with the Isila here for the Nova Nighthawks. So there's a lot to keep an eye on here in this map number 2. We are just a couple minutes away from starting it, just waiting for that delay to come through. But I mean, hey, the St. Clair, the 1-0 map lead is going to have them here right now. It is the Nova Nighthawks forced to reverse sweep, but all it takes is the St. Clair to lose one, and we're down to essentially a best of 1 at that point, and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, and there's going to be so much pressure on the bot lanes of both of these teams right now because that's basically what swung everything. We've seen Diggy in the mid lane like get the lead, but then Zephyr just backed off. He couldn't extend it. He tried to roam to other lanes, but everybody else just played safe and he couldn't do anything about it. Like top lane felt like that was relatively Ricky favored, but it was all due to that bot lane. And to be honest, if Nova gets the kind of start that the Saints did, I feel like it's still an even game, but at the same
100%.
time, with the composition that they're running here, it relies so much on not Hail Marys, but just picks. I can see the percentage of them maybe getting a little overzealous being much more probable.
I
So this
definitely
is still doable here for Nova.
You see it in a lot of titles, right? When you're down in a series, you make those bigger plays to come through, and you make those plays that are those, Hail Mary kind of plays. You see it in Rocket League, right? You go down by a few goals, you got to start triple committing.
Send it.
You see, yeah, send it. Honestly, literally, at that point, you're like, okay, what do I do here, man? Like, you're in a 1v3 in Call of Duty. What do you do? Like, just send it, right? So it is going to be us starting off here with game number 2 of this series here. Now, week 1 of cLoL, it is going to be the Nova Nighthawks, St. Clair College. St. Clair currently leading the series 1-0. So we're going to get kicked off here in this one. New comp, new map. Get this one going here. It is going to be the St. Clair looking to get an early start, but everybody just kind of getting their early game setup.
Yeah, nice quiet start as of right now. But one thing I will also give Nova right now is that if they can manage to keep themselves like even or like slightly behind, I feel like they will have the potential to scale harder and better. Yes, Barlow on the Jinx is still going to be an absolute like slaughterhouse basically. There's so much damage going to be dealt with. That being said, though, I'm looking towards like Diggy and looking towards Isimiko because they both have the ability to absolutely dive in and then escape safely. And that's exactly what a character like Jinx and Barlow does not want to have to deal with.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's like escaping in League of Legends is such a big benefit to have. You can get that pick and make it away with your life. It's such a benefit there. So here it is, going to be Diggy and Zephyr up, maybe getting into the first little bit of pick and poke here between these two teams. And this is actually going to be the side of Nova Nighthawks trying to get some early lead here, taking down one of those... what are they even? What would you even call them? Like CPUs? Like
it's the red buff.
The red buff? Yeah, the red buff.
Red buff, blue buff. There's a bunch of little names for all the critters in the jungle and whatnot. And of course, always a good habit to make sure that your jungler gets through those early camps just fine without taking too much damage. But because they did that, it does mean that States are going to be up in experience in that bot lane ever so slightly. But I mean, the slightest of lead early means that's a second ability unlocked, which means you can go.
Early leads, like just anything that you can get early game is such a benefit because of how cheap those abilities are and an extra ability compared to your opponent, just as you were saying. And this is going to be St. Clair off to a not so bad start, taking Lightweight down. Lightweight will make it out with his life, and he has his help from his teammate there being Osu. So everything will work out just fine, but FaZe definitely want to keep that pressure on, and that's exactly what he's doing here right now. But he is looking like he might get pushed out every slowly and surely. It is going to be Ricky LaFleur and Hemorrhage getting up there in the top lane. Ricky getting at him tagged down a decent bit there now, so Ricky can have a little bit of a head start on that fight.
Nice thing here for the bot lane as well for the side of Nova Nighthawks. Lightweight picking the Bard is going to allow them to have a heal, like, just as an emergency, whenever you kind of need it. Just go back and get the teacup and get yourself topped off a little bit. So even if you do get poked out a little bit, go back, heal, stay in the game, stay even on levels, and don't lose it in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is going to be St. Clair here right now looking to potentially get into an engagement with Osu here once again, but nothing going to come through. And I mean, Ricky going to have almost, oh, I thought you had to level on Hemorrhage there, but no, they're going to be pretty even here up in the top lane, but they're both going to keep fighting, and this might actually benefit Ricky pretty drastically. And that is going to be first blood going in favor of St. Clair, picking up right where they left off. Ricky winning the first fight in the top lane.
Gosh, just goes for the one-on-one duel, and to be honest, for Hemorrhage, that was close, but not going to be close enough. Ricky is there, but actually, here comes the Echo. Issey Miko looking to maybe try and clean up the scraps here, but Ricky does have stuns available. That's a lot of burst damage. One more shot will do the trick, and he gets himself two after Issey Miko just doesn't quite have the damage necessary to take down the Gator.
He should not be able to do that. Ricky should not be able to come away out of that with 2 picks. I agree with Ricky's decision to go in on that fight, though. He had Hemorrhage take down. Like, he had the health advantage on that fight right from the hop. And I think that's what really pushed him through and made the call for him mentally to go in and take that fight. Works out perfectly as he follows up with a second one. Ricky starting to start off with a double and a 150 gold bounty already on his name. St. Clair also having over a $1,000 gold lead within the first 5 minutes, which is going to be a very drastic lead here for St. Clair this early on, and definitely going to help out their ability department.
Yeah, it's definitely a little disappointing here for the bot lane side of Nova Nighthawks as well. One of the main reasons you pick Caitlyn in the first place is to get ahead on farm, and as of right now, even that, just between the harassment between FaZe and Barlow, just being able to push them off of minions over and over again. Like, every single time they try and go for one cannon minions, okay, he's going to get picked up this time here by Osu, so staying in there at least a little bit, but normally, I feel like a Caitlyn should be able to out-harass the Jinx, but just the teamwork coming out here from Saints, making that not the case.
Yeah, hey, I mean, you can't play it like Ricky's Caitlyn right now. When I saw Ricky on the Caitlyn, Ricky was playing the Caitlyn a lot slower and doing the farming, like you were saying, the Caitlyn should be doing right now for the side of the Nighthawks. So, I mean, hey, I learn to take some tips from Ricky if you can from the top lane Caitlyn there, because he played it pretty well last time around. And now switching it up here, he's still just doing his thing up in top lane and looking to potentially pick up another fight here.
He's got his ultimate ready to go as well, which does allow him to heal, and that could be brutal. Just one little combo there, and there goes half of your health. Hemorrhage is so nervous trying to farm. To be fair, in the lead of farm, but you also have 2 kills on the board, and we do see FaZe making a little trip up to the mid lane. That is Issey Miko going to make the dive. Looks like it. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one here for FaZe to have to deal with against Issey Miko. But it does look like FaZe actually might be able to just sneak away there and, you know, keep his life without actually taking too much for himself. But Ricky actually already going to be doing some damage here onto the first turret. And this is a nice, not bad. Like, I mean, get that early turret damage down. How often are you seeing a turret, you know, go down to half HP 6 minutes into a game? So it's going to be a good start from Ricky on that side of things as well.
You see a gang come down here in the mid lane. Lightweight making the charge here. Zephrot has no mana, nothing he can do. Diggy gonna get one on the board. He gets the better of Barlow with a little help from Lightweight.
Yeah, it's looking good here for the side of Nova Nighthawks to try to claw back ever so slightly. St. Clair is still going to be, you know, kind of slightly in the driver's seat of this game. But it is going to be Nova Nighthawks getting that 1-for-0 pick to really help them out. And now it is going to be Barlow and FaZe actually into a little bit of a tussle over here against Lightweight and Osu. So we could see something develop here, but it looks like Barlow and FaZe not going to give him too much attention. And, you know, Osu going to be able to hold that one off just fine.
And honestly, that was a fantastic roam there from Lightweight. By picking the Bard, it does allow you to use that tunnel through the terrain to be able to basically hop into any lane so quickly and make your presence known. And to be able to give the extra boost there on a Kassadin, which is notoriously weak in the middle or in the early game. To get him an elimination nice and early, definitely going to help, especially considering the CS differences. But here comes Fresh. The kitty was hungry, but not quite going to find a prey this time by.
Yeah, so, I mean, as of right now, Fresh gonna get the dive on Issey Miko, but Fresh gonna be sneaking away. Still just gonna do some damage and run is Fresh here right now. And he's gonna be falling away now as it is going to be Lightweight going for the chase. We also have Diggy trying to cut him off from the top side. Fresh going to jump out and try to take these fights. Maybe take down Issey Miko. But no, Lightweight is going to put on too much pressure. The stun is through onto Fresh, and he will fall to Issey Miko. Now 2-2 in the kill side of things. And the gold is not so far behind here for the Nova Nighthawks anymore.
I mean, a little bit of a greedy pathing happening there for Fresh. Yes, granted, Rengar can hop from bush to bush, but that isn't going to save you from a collapsing Nova Nighthawks squad that is all there ready to get the elimination. That's going to make things a little bit more even on the jungling side of things, getting Echo on the board there for Izzy-Miko, just a couple hundred gold instead of a couple thousand. So honestly, a relatively better start, especially down the bot lane. That's basically even at this point here. Looking good. The main difference is just going to be that top lane, but Renekton does not scale very well going into the late game. Just ends up being a gigantic meat shield and like stun bot with a little bit of damage, yes, sure, but having 2 eliminations and having the Renekton be the one that's fed isn't actually the worst thing in the world here for Nova.
Yeah, that's one thing I've really picked up on here throughout this one is the Nova Nighthawks have that, long game, kind of select here that'll help them out. If they can really push this one to the distance, it could really benefit them better in the long run, where St. Clair not so much. St. Clair got to get in, get aggressive early, try to find this early advantage. So we will see how this one does play out, but I mean, if Nova can just kind of, delay this game here a little bit, not even delay it, but like kind of just keep this one going on, I think as it gets further, they will get a little bit stronger as a core team.
And overall right here for Nova, they've been able to defend against ganks much better compared to the last one. Do see Lightweight trying to make a play, however, it might be a little bit overzealous. At the same time, though, Ricky is just absolutely shredding through Hemorrhage, but Hemorrhage can heal back up slowly but surely. So no play being done this time by, but I was saying here, like Nova, they've been able to defend against ganks much better compared to the last game. That being said, though, instead of these ganks and all these eliminations, they are kind of sacrificing turret plates. Which every one of those lines you see on the turret, of course, once you breach that threshold, that is some gold into your pocket. So with all this turret damage being done, they are still getting in the lead. We do see an engage up in top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be Ricky looking to come in with Rush's help, and that is going to be Hemorrhage falling, and that turret might go down shortly after as well. FaZe and Barlow going to get Izzy-Miko down super weak. Izzy-Miko, can they get the snipe through? And Barlow will be the one to clean it up. That is going to be Izzy-Miko falling. Osu and Lightweight here to try to help out. Diggy over here on the other side of things, facing off against Zephyros. Zephyros looking to get the dive on Diggy potentially, but no, Diggy going to sneak away far enough. Now Barlow still going to get engaged with a Lightweight up here, but nothing going to happen from that one as well. Diggy and Zephyros, they're just going to be picking and poking as well. I mean, this fight in the bot lane is definitely going to be the one I want to keep my eye on here. FaZe and Barlow versus Lightweight and Osu. So much of that turret damage is down. That's almost another plate through. And that is exactly how St. Clair has been maintaining their gold lead. How many of these turrets are like down to 2-3 plates?
I feel like top lane for sure, bot lane for sure, and then mid is at least down 1. So they're just gaining so much gold in that regard. That being said, though, still not as much as necessarily elimination. So yeah, they're still in the lead, but nowhere near as much. But unfortunate there for Nova. I saw what they were trying to do, but unfortunately they weren't on the same page. They went for the 3-on-2. However, Osu was already at like a quarter HP. And like FaZe can dive in with that ultimate as well. So even if you think like, okay, I'm the sniper, I'm staying back, I'm safe. FaZe there on the Vex can just say, hey, what's up, and pop you out nice and quick. Still, even from the support role. So I understand why Osu didn't necessarily want to go there, but unfortunately, it means Izzy-Miko just kind of went in 1v2 and kind of passed that one over to Barlow, which could be the start of a snowball.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Now, even if they can get this one off too, I mean, that's going to be another turret probably down if they can get I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been too long, man. This break, I was learning League of Legends so well towards the end of this, the break, and now we take a big break, and now we're back in here. But no, that should definitely help out take some more turrets as well. Dragon looking to potentially go in the hands of Nova, and it actually will. The blue team will slay their first dragon, and the first dragon of this map here actually. Barlow is going to be cutting Lightweight off. Lightweight down to 1 HP. Barlow will find that one. Can he find more as well? Izzy-Miko is down here. FaZe is there for cleaning up on the double. Ricky up in the top lane, getting into a lot of fights himself. Ricky's on a killing spree as he takes down the first. Now Diggy here and Fresh following. Diggy gonna try to vanish away, and Diggy will make it out with his life. But, I mean, St. Clair, that was a good little series of events.
Oh, and Osu, you're still not safe. You got to keep running, as we do see Barlow going to finish off his turret, and sure enough, Osu going to basically be forced to run all the way to his towers, and that is just absolutely rough here. And Fresh finally found Diggy. Might be able to get the jump, not quite.
That's two turrets down in a matter of 5 seconds right there. That's how we know those turrets have been so weak. You see the Rift Revolver come through, and it's going to be just flying through those turrets at that point in time. So St. Clair, now with their gold lead of 7K, this is looking a little bit more dominant from what we just saw a second before. But St. Clair looking good. Ricky getting into a big engagement. It's going to be Diggy and Lightweight, and Izzy-Miko will be there to get the cleanup. That's going to be Ricky getting shut down, and I think that he had a decent bounty to give over to Nova.
Remember when we said that the Saints would get themselves in the lead and then unfortunately kind of overextend and throw themselves into a 1v3? Well, that's basically exactly what just happened there, unfortunately, there for Ricky. But otherwise, A-okay in that regard. If I do hear correctly, I think we do actually, hang on a second, we have another engagement here in the mid lane. Ultimate's being used.
Yeah, for sure. Hemorrhage going to be standing down there and tagged down. He's going to be the first one to fall to Zephyros there. But we do see some more re-engagements going through. Fresh is going to be free tagged down as well as Zephyros. And nothing else happening as of quite yet, but lots of damage is being done. This turret definitely going to inflict some damage here to the side of the Saints as well. But this turret getting so much damage inflicted. They're looking to take down their third turret already. At a minimum, they should be able to get this last plate, and I think they did. And that is now going to be 2 stuns, though, onto Barlow and FaZe. FaZe, can he sneak away? No. Osu will get the first cleanup onto that one, so at least getting a trade out for a kill there. And I think that's going to force St. Clair off of it. But yeah, I completely agree. I think Caitlyn on the Ricky last time around really forced Ricky to play it down a little bit slower. And now coming through in this one, he wants to get a little bit more aggressive. Didn't work out as he tries to get into his 1v3 fights there.
Yeah, and honestly good there for the Nighthawks. They were able to kind of scratch their way and get themselves a little bit more on the board here after Ricky kind of throws himself in there, and then Osu there on the Caitlyn, able to finish things off beautifully. We have ourselves, this game is just full of action, and Ricky is going to be trying to steal this blue buff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be Ricky looking to hunt down Lightweight with Fresh's help, and that should be Lightweight done and dusted right here, right now. It's Fresh going to be the one to clean it up, and this comfort pick isn't looking too bad for the guy Fresh here right now. I mean, he's currently sitting at 2-1. He's got a bounty to his name here now, and definitely going to help with the team in a lot of fashion. So far, so good for Fresh here. That's going to be another turret down for the Saints, and I think that's 3 now? Or it's got to be. Yeah, I think that's 3 or 4.
Yep, that's 3. So it's all Tier 1 turrets gone here on the side of Nova, and it looks like they're just continuously shoving on in. Even if it's just 2 members, the confidence level is just there, which is absolutely ridiculous. But the one thing that Nova does have compared to what St. Clair doesn't is, of course, the Dragon. They do have the one Infernal Drake right now, so they do get a small damage buff because of this. But this does also allow them to have some sort of win condition here going forward into this game, as the possibility of getting the Dragon Soul and getting a buff that regard could really help remove some of this deficit. But they have to not let this snowball too badly, because we're almost at the 10k difference.
It's where you, at this point in Nova, it's almost like delaying the game to get those buffs at this point almost, right? It's like, can you let St. Clair, even if St. Clair just maintains their currently, this will work out for Nova. But if St. Clair starts, like you said, snowballing this into what bigger than what it already is, that's where you run into problems when you're in Nova Nighthawks. Right now they have an out. They have an option. There's doors there that they can take to get it come through with a game win here. But so far, St. Clair is just trying to keep doing what they've been doing. Ricky is looking to potentially get into another fight top lane, but nothing going to come through from that. And I mean, overall, St. Clair already all those tier 1 turrets down as well. Provides, look at where these fights are in the map. They're just moving closer and closer to the Nova Nighthawks nexus.
Absolutely. We see another dive. Hemorrhage, you poor soul, gets taken down. Gator feasting time apparently, but oh, the ulti coming out. Rocket coming on through. Hello, Barlow. Gonna find number 2, or number 4 rather, on this game. And it looks like FaZe is not done there on the Vex, looking to push on forward. I may be the support, but I've got damage. Not quite gonna find it though.
Yeah, and that is the tier 2 mid lane turret down, so it's gonna provide even more of an opening there. And as it is going to be the side of FaZe, he's trying to find some more picks up there as well. And I mean, at this point in time, Osu, he has a lot to deal with.
That's scary.
Gonna be Barlow here as well. And Barlow, I mean, as soon as you see Barlow's name, I think you should be scared right now in this series, because he has just been having a phenomenal day all day long here. Now sitting on 4-0 in this game number 2. Started off 17-1. I mean, 21-1 on the day. You can't ask for a better day than that here. Barlow, that's gonna be red team evening up the dragon count as well. The Saints will find the dragon there.
Okay, so now Saints are starting to take away the options too for the Nova Nighthawks. They're gonna have to really stall this one out if they want to try to play the Dragon game, but they just have absolutely no map control. Basically, anybody here from the Saints can absolutely burst you. So we just see Ricky taking care of Hemorrhage once again here. 0-6-0 here for poor Hemorrhage this time by. It's an unfortunate series for him so far here in cLoL, but we'll see if him and the rest of the squad can turn this one around, but they're going to have to play so passively. It's going to take a lot of patience and discipline, and game 1, we didn't see it.
Yeah, game one we didn't see the patience and discipline, so maybe seeing it here, but
Oh my
I feel
goodness.
like oh, Ricky just going in, getting the dive. I mean, hey, he might be in a tough
Oh, you're
spot. This is
done.
a 4-on-1. Ricky getting a shut down. He did just pull 4 players onto him though, and which makes you wonder, kind of, you know, where is St. Clair? What is St. Clair doing well? These 4 players are dating and getting themselves that fight. You see them down in the bot lane, trying to get that tier 2 turret down as well, and just providing even more of an opening and a path to the Nexus. St. Clair still maintaining this 12k gold advantage, but the Nova Nighthawks just trying to keep themselves by here. Getting that pick on Ricky was a good start, but Hemorrhage, that's going to be another one, 0-7, and it's just been a tough game for him.
I know as an Aurelia player, you want to go in and duel, like that's what you do. But unfortunately there for Hemorrhage, you're just so far behind that you just can't quite do it, let alone if you don't have any vision in that area. Like the one-on-one duel, you might be able to get close, but as soon as another person gets involved, well, you're just absolutely toast. But the one thing that was a positive in all of that shutdown gold went on to Diggy's Kassadin, which is, of course, one of the few characters that could actually burst down Barlow. But speaking about getting bursted, here comes Fresh trying to hunt down Echo.
Yeah, and it's going to work out perfectly. That's going to put Fresh onto a killing spree here now, and Barlow dominating, so both of them have been having a great time. I mean, the bot lane from St. Clair has just been so strong today. Definitely going to have to go show them some love here after this game for pulling off what they have right now. But yeah, St. Clair 16-5 on the kill department, but Sephiroth could be in a sticky situation. I mean, as I say that, it's just more and more turrets falling for the side of Nova Nighthawks, providing St. Clair more and more gold and more map control.
Yeah, and we're just about at that 20-minute mark, which means that Baron Nashor is going to be on the field in just a moment here. Which, to be fair, at this case, Nova, okay, congratulations, you've survived more than game number 1. But having to deal with Baron, like, this is one of the problems about having to play passively. Do you just give up the Baron and, like, let them have the buff and push in your turrets anyway? Or do you try and contest and, like, get backdoored? There's so much problems here that the Nova Nighthawks have to essentially perform perfectly in order to even have like the slimmest of chances, and a lot of it has to do with like bursting down Barlow, to be completely frank with you. Yes, everybody on the side of St. Clair like has their own like solid burst damage, but if you can get rid of Barlow, it's a possibility. You can probably win that 5v4. Although it's probably still going to be closer than we would expect.
I feel like you're saying get rid of Barlow like it's so easy here, Dan, to get rid of Barlow right now.
In past patches, it used to be. I used to be a Jinx main way back in like Season 1, or Season 2 rather, and we could not move. You'd be able to blow us up like it's nobody's business because we have no dashes. This season, however, completely different, and you have a team dedicated to keeping you safe, which is absolutely wonderful. But now we have engaged by the Baron pit.
Yeah, it's going to be that Baron engage, and this is a mess here on the scene. Reki going to find the first on Miko. Barlow will find the second on the
Sephiroth.
And that is going to be Sephiroth doing so much onto Osu. Osu not able to get away. Lightweight and Diggy trying to fend for their lives, but not going to work out there. Only one player remains alive, and that's going to be Diggy from the Nova Nighthawks, able to sneak away. St. Clair going to instantly return to the Baron, find that pick, and just take more of an advantage here. I mean, this is St. Clair Saints game to win. It's just, we said that Nova had to stop the snowball and had to, you know, just kind of keep things going, delay this game a bit, build up your gold, find another Dragons, but it's just not going to work out here right now. St. Clair is now quadrupling the kill department. They have a Baron, they have the same amount of Dragons, and an 18k gold advantage. Everything is in favor of the Saints here right now, and I mean, you can't ask for a better game if you're the Saints.
And absolutely frustrating there for Diggy. He could not find his opportunity to hop in because like he left that fight basically full health, and he probably has the most damage on his team, and he could not do a thing. Everybody from the Saints basically untouched. Maybe the only person like really hurt would have been FaZe, but at the same time, he's the support. If he goes down, it's just like a tank going down. It's a-okay. So absolutely rough times here for the Nighthawks if they want to try and bring this to a game 3, because Saints have all the pressure, all the gold in the world. You can see just for a brief second there like the differences, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And this is going to be another Dragon here, making the possibility of Nova taking like a Dragon Soul type of lead just not going to happen at all.
Yeah, Fresh is going to lure this dragon out a little bit there to, you know, pull it away from trying to get sniped. And Red Team still will be able to take it, but you see Michael, he wanted that dragon. I mean, I feel like I agree with the play there from Nova to try to snipe that dragon. You need to. Like, it's almost a win condition here for Nova to, you know, try to have to go through and find that dragon. But Fresh is going to find another one there. Zephyrot's looking for some more for himself as well. And this is going to be St. Clair now pushing up into the Nexus area as FaZe is just pushing these players right back into their base. St. Clair looking strong. Lightweight going to get sniped down by one of those rockets there from Barlow. And Barlow's just firing away some heavy hitting shots here right now, forcing the Nova Nighthawks to play off a bit. And it looks like St. Clair wants to go in and find some turrets here. And this is going to kill it. This is going to be the Rifter Vulture coming through and just going to do so much damage to all these turrets. There's the first one down. He's looking to get a charge up for another. If he can get another charge off, that is going to be through right there. That's the one down. And I mean, this is St. Clair just walking into the Nexus at this point. Yeah, like, I mean, this might be over here.
It's definitely looking tough. Shelly is going to eventually go down, but already took 2 down, and we have possibly the final engage.
Wow, I mean, yeah, these are so big. It's going to be another turret down, and you see all these players getting behind their Nexus, trying to regain, trying to take these fights. FaZe and Barlow shutting it all down. Ricky here trying to find some more as well. That is going to be Diggy getting stunned down, and Ricky still hunting for more. That's another blue turret destroyed. This Nexus is down to half HP. Fresh is just keep farming it, and this should wrap us up here. St. Clair Saints off to a hot start in cLoL. That's going to be a 2-0 win. No rinse the Nova Nighthawks from North Virginia.
Holy smokes. I mean, looking at like some of the rank differences in regards to solo queue, like I knew this was going to be a tough one here for Nova. I did not expect it to be that tough. Like it felt like this was just unfortunately out of their reach the entire time, and a lot of it, especially like near the very tail end, was like fundamental kind of stuff, just trying to like worry about vision and like playing around it safely. And then unfortunately, when the opportunities were there, just were not able to execute. But that being said, still extremely early in the season. We could very well see the turnaround from Nova because we still have like another 2.5 months of like constant games on Saturdays. So look forward to seeing how they do. But I'm very happy to see how the Saints have been playing so far in this series specifically, especially since all of the role swaps and such.
Yeah, it was a good one for me to hop on for the first time here. I mean, St. Clair really showing, you know, that they want me on the mic here again for the League of Legends games. No, but yeah, it's really looking solid here for the Saints. They played that one really well as a team, and that's one thing I really picked away from that is despite, you know, being into almost like a ranked comp almost in the second one, it still worked out as they were playing a team. You know, as much as it looks like, oh, you might see a ranked comp and be like, oh, okay, this is going to be a lot of people playing by themselves. I mean, may not see a lot of team chemistry, but it's not going to be the case from St. Clair. They will still find that one there. They still work together very, very nicely, and we'll shut down the side of the Nova Nighthawks. Everything just puzzled together nicely, and I mean, Barlow, he's definitely got to be my MVP for the day here from the Saints, just racking up those numbers here. But he would not have been able to do it without his team.
Absolutely. He has the nicest numbers, but it was all thanks to being able to set things up. You have like big bodies and teammates there to constantly defend you, that you can hide behind and just worry about nothing but peppering damage. FaZe and everybody on the side of St. Clair did that fantastically for the most part. Like I think other than at the end of game 1, like he was not really threatened in the slightest. Somebody always had his back. And to be fair for Barlow too, he was doing some awesome dodges, some like good flash usage, Gale Force usage, and just constantly keeping just barely out of reach. Enough to kind of tease Nova to try and dive, but whenever they did, hey, there's a Gator there. Hey, there's Zephyrot. There's FaZe. Like, there's always somebody there. There's Fresh. Like, on the Rengar, literally jumping and slaughtering your face. Like, it's absolutely brutal. And, like, nicely done there from St. Clair.
Yeah, nicely done indeed. So that's going to advance them now to a 1-0 record here in the start of cLoL Week 2. We'll be coming up next week, I believe, same time?
Same time. As of right now, anyway.
And as of right now, anyways, as well, we got broadcasts every night this week
the
here.
Chaos
Besides
begins.
Tomorrow, we don't have anything up tomorrow, but Monday and on, it's going to be day in, day out Saints Gaming CI broadcast. So make sure you drop a follow on Twitch if you're enjoying some of the content, as we'll be here nightly here going over for the next few weeks for sure. So, you know, stay with us there as we got lots of action coming your way. And
lots
Monday,
of variety too, which is
nice. Definitely.
Like Monday, if I recall correctly, it's basically like a nice double header, but we start off with Rocket League and then Overwatch, like back to back, and then like Rainbow Six Siege playoffs on Tuesday, Nascent, CCL, Call of Duty. Like there's just so much variety coming up down the pipeline here, and I hope you definitely come back and join us for this amazing but chaotic collegiate season.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I know everybody has been antsy to get this one going here once again. So hopefully you guys can see myself and Dan and the production team quite often here over this next few weeks or so. But with that being said, we are going to slowly wrap things up here for the evening. But before I do that, we and Dan, we got some nice jackets on today. Hey, Dan, I mean, like,
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
If you guys are interested in getting some of this merch that we got on here right now, you guys can do so at acquire.ca/Saints. That is going to be the Saints merch. I mean, we got a kind of running quote going on for dark mode, but yeah, you guys can get your t-shirts, jackets, jerseys, sweaters, hoodies, masks, hats, anything you can imagine. It's going to be on acquire.ca/Saints. So get your merch today. All going to be at affordable price points and a very quality merch as well. So get your merch at acquire.ca/Saints. But with that being said, I mean, let's talk a little bit about Crunchyroll here. I mean, they're going to be one of those new sponsors. They joined us in the fall, and so now not so much new anymore, but as we get further and further in the semester, our love for Crunchyroll continues to grow.
Yeah, still just as awesome. I think Apostle is still on his One Piece grind to this day that he started like way back in September. That show is just so long, but like everybody's been enjoying it so far. Of course, like you've coined it, the Netflix of anime. Be sure to try it out for yourself for 14 days premium at crunchyroll.com/Saints.
Yeah, get your free stuff there. And so, yeah, if you guys are interested, crunchyroll.com/Saints. But with that being said, that we'll be wrapping us up here for the evening. Thank you to our other sponsors as well, quickly before we go. So thank you to Tim Hortons, Subway, the St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. But my name is Jackson the Pride Brown, and joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danner Banners here. So very excited for being on the mic from a First League of Legends match. Hopefully I can hop on again soon, but this is going to be St. Clair Saints Collegiate League of Legends starting off 1-0 with a 2-0 win over the Nova Nighthawks. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bargo, yeah, like you were talking about, a lot of this little poke and like kind of testing the waters, but never mind. Fresh and Zephyros both looking to dive in on Diggy. Diggy will go airborne. He is 1 HP, but sneaks away with his life, and the Nova Nighthawks will find a double kill to open us up. And Dan, we are hopping right into cLoL here.
Kills, but actually hang on a second, gank in the bot lane.
Yeah, this could be big. Lightweight has been tagged down drastically. We have Barlow and Fez here on Issimiko. Issimiko's going to be stunned off the play, but Fez super tagged down. 1 HP, and Fez will get the snipe. That is going to be another kill down for St. Clair. But it's looked like Zephyros getting into a little bit of action over here as well. Nico, they're probably both going to send it right back to the base there. And it is going to be another engagement going on here now in the bottom lane, and that is going to be Barlow on a killing spree, and that's a double kill for him. 6-3 and a 2.2k gold advantage in the hands of St. Clair right now. A great start to them, and you know, one thing I want to top, and Fresh has been down to minuscule HP, and he will get cleaned up. Now FaZe and Barlow here to do the work, and Barlow, he's going to be one of those players you want to keep alive for sure. Let's see if they can do it here. Lightweight takedown, sneaking away to snipe, and it's through. Barlow will find that one. Barlow now dominant, hot and ready. He's going to be here to support his teammate. This could go very good for the Saints, but Diggy will find Fresh early on. It's all up to Ricky here. Now Ricky going to get a trade out onto Maiko. Now Barlow and FaZe going to go hunting. Barlow going to find yet another. Barlow is 7-0 to start off another the cLoL season. Make it an 8. Live as of right now, and no way Ricky gets away with his life here. Ricky gonna be super lucky to stay alive during that play. Actually, it's gonna be Diggy now.
They're so low.
Does 1 HP. Like, I can't even see the red help on Diggy's name. Diggy will go down there from Zephyros and Ricky. And that is now should provide a lot more, but that is actually going to be Zephyros who goes down there. And that's going to be Nova Nighthawks getting one of those picks that you said they needed, and they will actually find it there. Now, this could be a little bit of a problem as FaZe is going to be super tagged down as well. Barlow, though, looking to force out these players, and he's doing a great job of that. Barlow here now is looking for more, and Barlow is hunting. He's going to get the cleanup for that pick there. And St. Clair just trying to slowly pick these players off and move in even further.
I mean, that's just the beauty of having so much extra burst damage from the support role here from FaZe. We see maybe the last team fight as two more go down.
Yeah, those two going down might be the one to just wrap it up here.
Average was close, but not going to be close enough. Ricky is there, but actually, here comes the Echo. Issimiko looking to maybe try and clean up the scraps here, but Ricky does have stuns available. That's a lot of burst damage. One more shot will do the trick, and he gets himself 2. after Isibiko just doesn't quite have the damage necessary to take down the Gator.
He should not be. Lightweight off, lightweight down to 1 HP. Barlow will find that one. Can he find more as well? Isibiko is down here. FaZe is there for cleanup on the double. Ricky up in the top lane, getting into a lot of fights himself. Ricky's on a killing spree as he takes down the first. Now Diggy here and Fresh following. Diggy gonna try to vanish away, and Diggy will make it out. No, those turrets have been so weak. You know, you see the Rift Revolver come through, and it's gonna be just flying through those turrets at that point in time. So St. Clair, now with their gold lead of 7K, this is looking a little bit more dominant from what we just saw a second before. But St. Clair looking good. Ricky getting into a big engagement. It's gonna be Diggy and Lightweight, and Isibiko.
Dive hemorrhage, you poor soul, gets taken down. Gator feasting time apparently, but oh, the ulti coming out. Rocket coming on through. Hello, Barlow. Gonna find number 2, or number 4 rather, on this game. And it looks like FaZe is not done there on the Vex. Looking to push on forward. I may be the support, but I've got damage. Not quite gonna find it though.
Reki gonna find the first on Isibiko. Barlow will find the second on the
Sephiroth.
And that is going to be Sephiroth doing so much onto Osu. Osu not able to get away. Lightweight and Diggy trying to fend for their lives, but not gonna work out there. Only one player remains alive, and that's gonna be Diggy from the Nova Nighthawks, able to sneak away